guys, I'm Al from Games Re-Up, and let's talk retro, everything retro, retro VGS. This time episode number 6. So what do we have to talk about today? Now obviously we're only about a week away now from the Kickstarter launching, and it's got everyone quite excited, it's got me quite excited, because at the end of the day I would love to see exactly what they're going to do with everyone's money as soon as they've got it and they're ready to really get this project going. And when I mean going, I mean actually developing it even more and actually getting the physical product actually made. Now obviously if you had gone, now I don't know if it's already been and gone, the game expo that Retro VGS were meant to turn up to. Now if any of you guys went, I would love to hear from you, because I'd love to hear exactly what other details they had, whether they had any new information that we don't already know, or it was just the same as we already know and they were just sort of reiterating it. Plus, did they actually have a console there? Because if they did, they haven't really said they've done that, because I've checked their Facebook account and their website and I'm pretty sure it doesn't say anything about it. But then again, I could be wrong. So I will have to look into that, and if there is any more news, I will actually get that uploaded for you guys to see, and then obviously we can go from there. One thing recently that everyone seems to be talking about is the actual price point. Now, Retro VGS actually posted this on their Facebook because people were a bit annoyed almost at the price of the console, and they had to basically reiterate the fact that they are a new company. So they've never made anything before. This is just a Kickstarter company, and they've had to physically make molds. They bought the molds of the old Atari or Jaguar, whatever it is, as well as developing from the ground up, and the actual chipsets and everything like that they've got to buy to actually produce the consoles are obviously more than they would obviously like. Obviously if they're a bigger company, they'd be able to buy the parts cheaper, I would assume, because they could buy them in bulk, because they obviously would already have suppliers lined up for things like that. They'd be able to go from there, but they can't do that. They're a brand new company. So the price point they're saying is around £250, so I think that's about $300 to $350. Yeah, that does sound a lot, bearing in mind the price of the PS4 over here in England is $299 at the moment in some places, so it's only £50 more than the Retro VGS, so that already doesn't look great. But like I said, Sony and Microsoft, they're already established, they'd be able to get their parts cheaper, and all the developers would already be on board with them. So I don't really see the problem here, but there we go. Okay, so what is up next? Next up, we've got a highlight reel. So this is basically a video that Retro VGS themselves have put together to sort of highlight a few of the games they've already created, and just to sort of design. It's a glossy looking advert essentially for the people who are thinking of getting one, to try and persuade them to part with their money when it actually comes to next week, or whenever it is. I think it's next week commencing 14th. Yeah, that sounds about right. So check this glossy advert out. I like it, I think it's pretty funky, and like I said, this may get a few people on board, but let's take a look and have that. Let's actually see whether this does do the desired effect. Okay, so this is hot off the press, brand new news for you. The console obviously was originally going to be around the sort of $180 mark. Like I said, obviously the price is going to be more expensive, but there is a reason for this. This is hot off the press, okay? So obviously the reason they've had to put the price up is because of the console's going to be FPGA enabled, which basically means it's going to be an easier route for developers to be able to actually develop and port old classic games onto the new console without having to go through any costly measures or anything like that. They'll just be able to port straight forward as they normally would. For example, like going on to Xbox Live or porting to PS4, Xbox One, things like that. So that's the reason they've got to have the price there for that. Next, they're also going to have, wait for this, cartridge adapters, meaning you'll be able to play ColecoVision, Atari 2600, Intellivision, that's just so far. You'll be able to play those cartridges on the brand new console, so in HD. Now they said these are going to be very inexpensive, so that's great already. But they're hoping for things like the NES and maybe Sega Mega Drive, things like that, to eventually come to this console. So is that not great news? So like I said, the price point kind of reflects everything they're trying to do, because they want to make it the ultimate retro console, and I've got to give them a thumbs up for that, because that is great. But that's literally it for now. So that was hot off the press. Like I said, I like to bring you all the up-to-date news. So that's it. I've been out from Games Re-Up. Make sure you also follow my podcast with my friends. It is called The Pretty Random Podcast. We've got a special edition episode this week with a special guest. His name is Craig, and that is going to be an absolute corker of an episode. And that's Pretty Random Podcast. That is on iTunes and SoundCloud. Thanks for watching. Click the subscribe button, and I'll see you all soon.